What's up, people? Sorry if I sound horrendous. I feel horrendous, but that's besides the point. I am not going to be talking about movies and shows today. I'm actually going to be talking about some experiences that I had over the weekend. So I went to a gathering, and I had a great time. I had a really good time. But I'm actually going to be talking about some things that I learned, some interactions I had whilst at the gathering. So, it's just things I learned from the party, basically, is the moral of this. It's a little bit left field of what I usually do, but I've been going a bit left field these days. I've got a lot to say, so I'm just going to say it. The first thing is I was talking to somebody who was outside smoking, and he made the comment that he wasn't sure if he wanted to come because he's quite an awkward person, right? And me and his partner and him were discussing that. And one of the things that we were discussing is because I said, I'm also an awkward person. So I know exactly how you feel. I have got to a space now of my life where I even avoid certain situations, exactly as he was saying, just because I know it's going to be awkward. And my usual response to try and counteract that is alcohol. And I just think, like, why am I drinking just to be able to socialize when I could just stay at home? Anyway, but what we were saying was, in life, sometimes you just have to be awkward, Just embrace the awkwardness. If it's awkward, then it's awkward. If I'm having an interaction with somebody and the interaction is a little bit awkward, just embrace it, bruv. You are who you are. We are who we are. I've been this person my whole life and actually trying to go around the houses to be normal and socially, like, do you get what I'm saying? And sometimes you think it's awkward and it's the other person's thinking it's normal. And you're the one making up a story. So to cut a very long story short, don't over that. Like, don't overthink it. Sorry, not over exaggerate. Don't overthink it. If it's awkward, guys. Let's just crack on with it. Do you know what I'm saying? Embrace it. This is for my people who are a little bit strange, a little bit outside of the left field, or even if that's just how you feel, just embrace it. It will make your life a lot easier. Second interaction I had that I'd like to tell you guys about is I was talking to somebody, one of the DJs actually, and I said to him that, I don't really want the party to finish, but this is, when it was coming to closing time or time when it was sort of wrapping up to finish. I said, I don't really want it to finish. And he made the comment that if it doesn't finish, then that takes away the spark, that takes away the enjoyment, then that's just your life. The spark of it happening is it has to finish for it to have happened. Otherwise, you're just there in this never ending party. And I know that's quite a cliche thing, but it's so important to remember that, when you are having a good time, it has to end for the time to be a good time. You have to have that sense of, okay, I'm going back to my normal life, but this moment is amazing. So you have to kind of strike the balance between being able to enjoy the moment, but also understanding that the end of the moment is important as the beginning for it to be what it is. And I think I had another interaction, and I don't really, I'm I'm skeptical about telling this interaction because I feel like I don't, if he sees this, the person I was interacting with, I don't want him to feel bad about it because it felt like a mirror because it's usually me. So that's the only reason why I'm bringing it up. And it's quite, it's quite normal. I think people have been there, but somebody I was speaking to sort of made the comment of, am I the only person here who doesn't live here? And I was like, well, I don't live here, but I'm related to somebody who does live here. So I'm going to be hanging around for a bit. Whatever the case may be, but he was sort of lingering. The party had sort of come to a close, or was coming to a close. People were mostly making their way out. It was very much a small group left of sort of close family and friends. And another reason I don't talk about it is because I don't know how he was connected to anyone, right? But you could tell he was one of the ones that really needed to be leaving. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I'm just saying that was the vibe. And I've been there, man. I don't like leaving. I'm the guy that stays till the very bitter end. So trust me, I've been there, which is why again it resonated with me because it was a mirror. But I think sometimes we have to know when to leave, man, and it comes down to when it's ended. It has to end, and sometimes we have to know when to leave. And I think that relates to relationships, that can relate to parties, as it was, that can relate to jobs. Like sometimes you've just outstayed your welcome and it's time to go. And it's like just because it was amazing doesn't mean it can never end. It has to end. And sometimes know when to leave because sort of teetering around and sort of you're stretching it to a place it doesn't need to go. And I think that's just a life lesson. If you have to ask certain questions, if you have to ask, should I still be here? Probably leaning towards the fact that you shouldn't still be here. And that's even like, so for example, I came with a friend and he left quite early, but it wasn't really his vibe. And I think he left when he needed to leave. And I think if you have to ask certain questions towards the end, you probably do need to leave. Even if the party is nice and then certain people arrive and the vibe changes, you need to, and you can feel it in the pit of your stomach. You need to leave. And I think that again, that's a big relationships, work, so many things. Like know when to call it a day. Know what questions you're asking that are telling you it's time to start making a plan to get out of here. How am I getting home? How am I getting a new job? How am I moving house? How am I getting out of this relationship? I think if you're thinking about it and you're asking certain questions, it's time to go, man. And that is my experience of the party. I just wanted to sort of share because I've had a lot of time to reflect. And again, I've been feeling like horrendous physically, but it's given me time to have that mental reflection time, and yeah, I had a great time. So I just sort of wanted to share some of those positive interactions, because although that last one felt negative, it was more like an epiphany. It was in a mirror, and it really resonated with me. And you know, that's no disrespect to him. Shout out to him. That'll be me at the next party. Trust me. But yeah, if you've made it this far, thank you for listening. I know it was a waffly one, but I really wanted to share my thoughts and experiences with you. Tutti Reviews, give me a follow.